to the UN.
I'm Shelley Rabando. We've been closely monitoring the developments overseas, and we're going to break away now from network programming to bring you the latest from News 10 NBC.
Now with the latest developments here at home and abroad. Target Iraq. This is News 10 NBC.
Good evening, I'm Brett Davidson.
I'm Shelley Rabando. Nightfall in Baghdad has brought a series of explosions and the flash of anti-aircraft fire.
And U.S. Marines have now invaded Iraq. Also today, an Apache helicopter crashed while taking part in Operation Iraqi Freedom. It's breaking news. 2 people were on board the chopper when it crashed inside Iraq. NBC News is reporting, though, that the crew is alive. Earlier this afternoon, U.S. soldiers began attacking Iraqi troops from the ground. Airstrikes started last night and continued again tonight, targeting key Iraqi military positions. Now let's go live to Kuwait City, where Steve Handelsman is standing by.
The second night's bombardment of Baghdad is more intense. Some strikes near Saddam Hussein's palace, the Iraqis filling the sky with return fire, as U.S. fighters go up to protect U.S. bombers against any Iraqi aircraft. At the Kuwait border, U.S. forces used artillery to clear the way for invasion and drew blood, destroying Iraqi vehicles that got too close. This as Iraqi oil wells near the border began burning. In Kuwait City, sirens wailed, people took cover, grabbed gas masks, and fretted.
I don't want my children to feel these sounds and to hear these sounds.
Iraqi missiles fell only in the desert. Defense Secretary Rumsfeld offered to stop the war.
We continue to feel that there's no need for a broader conflict if the Iraqi leaders act to save themselves and to prevent such further conflict.
Last night's cruise missile attack and stealth fighter bombardment of Baghdad was aimed at senior leaders. But the Iraqis say civilians were hurt and killed, with more blood sure to be shed as the U.S.-led war ramps up. And Operation Iraqi Freedom promises to get much more intense. So far, instead of the shock and awe campaign that the Pentagon promised, what we've got here so far is shock and pause. From Kuwait City, I'm Steve Handelsman, NBC News.
Well, there are a lot of developments here at home as well. We're going to go to Michael Williams, who's in Washington, D.C.
President Bush huddled with his national security team this morning, going over early battlefield reports and efforts to target Iraqi leadership. Later, the president met with his cabinet.
We're from Secretary Powell, who briefed us on the ever-growing coalition of the willing nations who support our deep desire for peace and freedom. Over 40 nations now support our efforts.
The president also saluted U.S. troops in Iraq.
There's no question we've set the finest of our citizens into harm's way. They perform with great skill and great bravery.
Meanwhile, on the terror front today, the FBI has issued an alert for this man, suspected terrorist Adnan el-Shirijama. This is video of an FBI raid of a home in Miramar, Florida, the last known address of Shukr Juma. NBC News says he is thought to be a trained pilot, and there are fears he could be another Mohammed Atta, the leader of the 9/11 attacks. Authorities believe Shirijama was in the U.S. sometime after 9/11. The whereabouts of this suspected top al-Qaeda operative are unknown at this point. Finding him is a top FBI priority. At the White House, Michael Williams, NBC News.
We have a local crew embedded with the 101st Airborne Division in Kuwait. Rebecca LeClaire talked with News 10 NBC's Dean Staley today in the Kuwaiti desert. He's with local soldiers. Dean told Rebecca how they just missed getting hit by a missile. Here's a portion of the interview.
This is Rebecca LeClaire coming to you from Rochester, New York from 10 NBC. Can you tell us what the situation? You're in Kuwait, I understand.
Yeah, Rebecca, we're at Camp Thunder with the 101st Airborne camped out in the middle of the Kuwaiti desert.
What's the situation? We had heard that Scud missiles were sent your way from Iraq today. Are you anywhere near that situation? Did you hear sirens?
Yeah, Rebecca, it was a terrifying day for us here at Camp Thunder. We're only about 20 or 30 miles in rough terms from the Iraqi border, and this morning we heard Patriot missiles, which are in a battery just outside of the camp. We heard Patriot missiles taking off. One of them exploded in midair over the camp, And it was at that point that everyone here with the 101st Airborne put on their gas masks, their Kevlar helmets, their body armor, ran outside and jumped into the ditches that they've dug out here 3 to 4 feet deep for protection. The presumption being there was an incoming Scud missile that those Patriots had gone out to intercept. We were in those ditches probably for 2 or 3 hours today, in and out of them, waiting for the all clear, waiting for one of these Scuds to come out of the sky and hit either the camp or somewhere outside the camp. And the big concern, of course, was that one of these Scud missiles might have had chemical or biological weapons on board. That's why we had our gas masks on, and we had our chem suits on or next to us. And then we finally got the all clear. We found out later that it was an Al-Masoud Iraqi Scud missile that was aimed, one of them, for Camp Thunder, and one of those Patriot missiles intercepted that Scud missile in the air just 5 or 6 miles from here.
That's Dean Staley in Kuwait. And Dean, will have more coming up in the second half of our broadcast and again on News 10 NBC at 6.
There's a huge anti-war protest going on right now in downtown Rochester. Dozens of people are rallying for peace at the Liberty Pole. That's where Lynette Adams joins us live. Lynette, I imagine some police are on hand there?
Well, actually, there were several police on hand here until just a few moments ago when the rally moved down West Main Street. The group is headed to the Federal Building. But for the most part, it has been a peaceful protest, just a little bit of marching and chanting. Scores of people gathered here starting at 4 o'clock this afternoon to express their angst over the war against Iraq. This protest was organized by students, but several groups are represented. Groups like Metro Justice, members of the Green Party, Raging Grannies, who are against war and injustice. Protesters say they're concerned about the innocent people who will be killed in this war.
I think Saddam Hussein may be a very terrible leader. He may be a cruel dictator, but I don't think that war is the way to unseat him. During the Gulf War, 90% of casualties were civilians, and I think that the rate is going to go up. Historically, it's gone up, and I don't think that it's worth a single civilian death.
At RIT this afternoon, a different kind of rally with a different message. Students here passed out 600 flags to people on campus. They want to show their support for the president, our troops, and America. They also want to show that students believe war in this situation is the right thing.
What's up, man? It's an important cause, and right now we cannot afford to have division in our country. We have to stand united behind our president because he's doing what's right for our national security in the interest of the free world.
So 2 groups, 2 different opinions. The protest that started here this afternoon is making its way to the Federal Building, and they will rally there at the Federal Building at 6 o'clock this evening, and of course we'll bring that to you live. Reporting live at the Liberty Pole, Lynette Adams, News 10 NBC.
Governor George Pataki says New York is taking unprecedented measures to bolster security in New York State. I spoke with him via satellite earlier today. The governor says with war now upon us, nearly 700 additional National Guard troops have been deployed as part of Operation Shield. Given that we are now officially at war, what security measures have you taken on behalf of New Yorkers today?
Well, we are at war, and our thoughts and prayers are with the brave men and women in the Middle East fighting to defend our freedom. And we know that New York is one of those symbols of the strength and the freedom of America. We've been attacked before. So that's why we thought it prudent and appropriate to create this NYSAFE program, NYShield program, that has now been implemented across New York State. And it means heightened National Guard activities, much stronger border security across the borders of New York State, much expanded state police activity, working with school districts, the private sector, and local officials. And I'm just very confident that everything that can be done to protect the people of New York is being done.
Governor, have you heard of any specific targets in New York State that might be vulnerable at this juncture?
Well, Brett, I think that's a very important question, and the answer is there is no specific threat against any target anywhere in New York State.
Governor, can you talk specifically about areas here in Rochester where security has been ramped up, be it the nuclear power plants or the airport? What can you tell us about this area?
Well, obviously, nuclear power plants have been indicated by Washington as potential targets, and we have dramatically expanded security there. And we do have National Guard troops. I'm not going to get into numbers or where they are, but they certainly are at power plants and at other critical infrastructure areas.
We've also heard that state police have ramped up their security measures, doing additional inspections on the thruway commercial vehicles. What can you tell us about that?
Well, that's correct. Yesterday I swore in 202 additional new state police. We're at the highest level ever in the history of New York State. As trucks and other vehicles that should be inspected roll across upstate New York, there are going to be random stops, random checks. There are going to be a lot more patrolling. We have some high-tech equipment that allows for the complete X-raying of trucks or vans from a distance without any disruption of the traffic. And all of this is being implemented and utilized to make sure everything we can do to protect the people of New York is being done.
The governor also urged the state legislature to pass the Patriot Plan that would bring benefits to active National Guard members.
And we'll continue to update you on the crisis in Iraq throughout our show. We're also following several local stories connected to the war in Iraq. Still to come, how a new travel warning is affecting Americans traveling abroad and how local schools are dealing with scheduled class trips. Plus, we'll hear from a local family whose son is fighting in the war.
As you may have heard, the FBI is looking for a Saudi man. Officials say he could be plotting terrorist attacks against the U.S. They think Adnan al-Shukri may have been in Miami before he disappeared. The FBI says he could be linked to al-Qaeda.
National Guard patrols have been stepped up at the country's largest nuclear power plant. U.S. Energy Secretary Spencer Abrahams says he's received information that the plant in Palo Verde, Arizona may become a terrorist target. Now, we checked with RG&E about security concerns with Ginna nuclear power plant. Officials tell us they're maintaining their current level of security unless notified by the Nuclear Regulatory Commission.
In other news, James Comfort's future is now in the hands of a Rochester jury. He's the grease man accused of raping girls and women he met online. Closing arguments wrapped up today. Several of the victims took the stand during the trial. The defense did not call any witnesses. Comfort is also accused of raping a 15-year-old girl in Syracuse. He'll be tried on that charge in Syracuse.
A tornado has killed 6 people in southern Georgia. The twister touched down early this morning. Close to 100 people have been hurt. The fierce storm uprooted trees, destroyed homes, and scattered debris all over. Winds reached 70 miles an hour. Officials are investigating whether there could have been more than one tornado.
Now, bringing you Western New York's most advanced forecasting technology, here's meteorologist Kevin Williams in the 10 NBC Weather Lab.
And a good afternoon. The time is 5:11. We have some weather issues of our own to be concerned about. Nothing extreme, but some rain and enough rain to produce some localized flooding. So we're going to get right to it. 44 degrees downtown right now. We look live at the 10 NBC Weather Lab Triple Doppler. Not too much going on locally. Just a few light showers, but some especially heavy rain noted in parts of Seneca and Cayuga counties. That's where the big rains will be tonight. But this entire rain area will coalesce and congeal over the region and produce likely enough rain to produce at least some localized flooding overnight tonight and tomorrow. So again, a flood watch is in effect. This is not going to be a widespread major deal, but a third to an inch of rain will fall tonight. Heaviest again to the east in the Finger Lakes, and we will need to monitor area creeks and streams already running high, and some could overspill their banks later tonight. Now, all of this is the result of the same storm that brought the record snows to the southern Rockies and the Denver area in particular this week as it spins slowly to the east. Lots of moisture is being drawn up the eastern seaboard, and particularly tonight and early tomorrow, pretty good dose of dampness is ahead. Some light rain in town now, some sprinkles and showers. 46 degrees with a breeze out of the east-southeast at 7. And again, this is a slow-moving system, but the bulk of the rain will be tonight and early tomorrow. Again, as the system spins east and moves off from the west, it will begin to weaken, but its slow movement will almost guarantee at least some unsettled weather and a few showers that will carry us into Friday and at least a portion of the weekend as well. So for tonight, cloudy skies, again, a flood watch area-wide with periods of rain, the rain increasing in coverage and heaviest east through the Finger Lakes. Oh, and by the way, spring arrives officially at 8 o'clock. It will be a wet arrival. Overnight low temps mid-30s to the mid-40s. There might even be a rumble of thunder. Now, tomorrow, the early day rain tapers to just a couple of showers. Clouds could break for a little peekaboo sun. It will be a milder, breezy day. A high temperature 55 to 60. The weekend, not bad, not great. There'll be a couple of showers, especially later Saturday, early Sunday, maybe a flake or two. Upper 40s Saturday, mid-40s on Sunday. Pretty seasonable air. But again, because creeks and streams are high, and especially in areas east of the Genesee to the Finger Lakes, enough rain could certainly cause some streams to overflow their banks, and we'll watch that overnight tonight and tomorrow.
All right, thanks a lot, Kevin. The travel industry is feeling the effects of the war.
Even some school groups have canceled their trips. That story is coming up.
Also, the city of Rochester steps up security. We'll hear from Police Chief Robert Duffy.
Plus, local school children try to come to grips with the crisis in Iraq.
News 10 NBC is brought to you by your local Dodge dealer.
Get the best values in America from Dodge. Take our best products, like Ram Heavy Duty, Motor Trend's 2003 Truck of the Year, the Hemi-powered Ram 1500, and the just right size Dakota. Plus, our best warranty, Dodge's fully transferable 770 powertrain limited warranty. Plus, our best deals, up to a $3,000 cash allowance or 0% financing on most models. Add it all up, it equals the best values in America. See your Dodge dealer or visit Dodge.com.
You've been counting the inches, you've been tracking the snow days, and you've been stuck in your home. Manufacturers have said enough is enough. They've come to Ruby Gordon and said, we've got to cut prices and we've got to cut them now. Now you have to come in and see the best names in furniture with prices so dramatically reduced you won't believe your eyes. It's Ruby Gordon Furniture's factory authorized sale. Check your mailbox for our 16-page circular filled with savings in every department. Plus, with no payments and no interest till March 2004, there's no reason to wait. Ruby Gordon Furniture, the making of a beautiful home.
Minivan Madness, only at Vision Dodge. With over 100 minivans to choose from, Western New York's #1 Dodge Coupe is ready to break all sales records for the month of March. 300 new Dodges available, and all come with free lifetime oil changes. At Vision Dodge's Minivan Madness, all new old 3 Caravans and Grand Caravans are $1,000 below invoice. The best part is, you keep the rebates. Now, to the end of March, save up to $7,000 on your new minivan at Rochester's minivan leader, Vision Dodge of Penfield.
You're watching News 10 NBC with the latest developments here at home and abroad. Target Iraq.
In times of crisis, many people turn to prayer as a source of comfort. Several churches in the area have opened up their doors for people to pray for peace. People stopped by St. Augustine's Church on Chilai Avenue this morning. Our Lady of Good Counsel is also inviting people to come reflect and pray. The church is open until 9 o'clock tonight. It's on Brooks Avenue.
About 200 Wilson Magnet students left school early to rally for our troops. The students joined hands to form a circle in front of their school building. They talked about the war, constitutional rights, and safety of all young people. The State Department is warning U.S. citizens abroad there could be possible terrorist attacks and anti-American violence. Locally, a handful of schools have canceled class trips because of the war. With more on this and how the war is affecting the travel industry, we join Elizabeth Chernak.
Shelley, the Canandaigua and Palmyra Macedon School District just canceled some field trips because of the war. Like many leisure and business travelers, the school districts just didn't want to take any chances. These cancellations, however, are hitting the travel industry pretty hard.
Okay. Liberty Travel at the Eastview Mall opened early this morning. With the start of war, travel agents expected to be busy with cancellations and trip postponements.
Consumer confidence in traveling is quite low.
Because of the war, many airlines, hotels, and resorts are waiving cancellation fees.
They're very flexible. No change fees. Most of them will allow you to change the dates, destinations, so on and so forth.
Schools around the area are reviewing their travel and field trip policies. Here in Canandaigua, they've canceled 2 field trips, one to New York City, the other to Washington, D.C. That trip was supposed to leave last night.
I'm disappointed, but I'm not angry because you can understand their concern.
Jenny Siverud's U.S. government and politics class is now instead spending class time talking about the war.
It would have been a very valuable field trip for these students, but in the end the district had to say it's just not appropriate to potentially put them in harm's way.
The Canandaigua School District wants to keep students close to home in case the orange security alert is upgraded. The State Department of Education recommends this. The district also put a moratorium on local field trips for 1 week.
Some great savings out there.
The good news for those of you who don't mind traveling during wartime is that prices are at an all-time low.
It's a good time to book a vacation, even for the future.
The future of the travel industry, however, isn't so bright. Liberty Travel expects some vendors will end up closing because of the effects of war.
Both schools and travel agents are keeping a close eye on the nation's travel warnings. There is a lengthy list of countries the U.S. recommends Americans avoid. You can log on to our website for a link to this list at 10nbc.com. Elizabeth Chernak, News 10 NBC.
How long do you think the war will last? Tonight, Rochester reacts.
Hopefully the war is not going to last too long because I think we got the best troops. I think that President Bush planned this pretty well. I think that the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the other people in the military, Marines, National Guard, are all set to go.
I'd say it's going to last about a year or two. I mean, there's just too much stuff going on, and there's a lot of people over there that are actually willing to fight for what they believe in.
I don't think I have a guess on how long it will last, but I'm behind Bush, and I think he needs a nation behind him.
You can express your opinion by taking part in our online poll. Just log onto our website at 10nbc.com. U.S. officials are urging every American to support U.S. troops overseas.
News 10 NBC, the Red Cross, and several other businesses are putting together care packages for our local soldiers. But time is running out. Details on how you can help are next. Also, a local Islamic center speaks out about the war with Iraq. That's just ahead.
Prices are now being slashed during York Furniture Gallery's clearance sale. Hurry in for best selection now through Sunday only. Clearance prices with special financing now through Sunday only.
Let's take a look at what Ford Taurus has to offer that the competition doesn't. Like more front and rear legroom than Toyota Camry, available adjustable pedals that aren't available in Chevy Impala, and a smooth running standard V6 compared to Honda Accord's Base 4. And right now you can get into a nicely dressed Taurus SE with red carpet option financing for just $229 a month. So shouldn't you take a closer look at Taurus?
If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
Introducing Arby's new Italian beef and provolone. Oven-roasted beef marinated in Italian seasonings. Real Italian, real good.
What are you eating today?
You can hear News 10 NBC on the radio every day on WYSL News 1040. These broadcasts are made possible by New York Family First Credit Union.
Many contractors go door to door with a few product samples and a price quote. But Dan Fulmer Company offers much more, like a complete showroom for you to experience, full of doors, steel, wood, or storm, windows, sliders, and double hung for cleaning ease, siding, exclusive 16-foot panels with a huge selection of color and profiles to choose from, and roofing with a great selection in place and on display. Dan Fulmer Company, a showroom of dreams, a lifetime of satisfied customers.
Discover the real taste of maple and see how it's made from the tree to the table. Maple Weekend is March 22nd and 23rd at maple farms across New York. To find one near you, go online to mapleweekend.com. For New York State farmers and food processors, it's not just a matter of business, it's a matter of pride. Maple syrup, the pride of New York.
This is it, Rochester. Metro Mattress's best offer of the year. Buy the mattress at our guaranteed lowest price and get the box spring for free. Plus get 0% financing for 1 year. Only at Metro Mattress.
If you see news happen, call the News 10 NBC hotline at 232-1010 or star 10 on your Verizon Wireless phone. Join in, a service brought to you by Verizon Wireless.
The Islamic Center of Rochester is holding a special prayer tonight for the U.S. soldiers and the citizens of Iraq. Today, members of the Islamic Center officially spoke out against the war. They say they're praying to God to end the war quickly. The men here say they're torn because they have families on both sides of the conflict.
As Americans, we pray for all of our soldiers' safe return to their families. As Muslims, our hearts and prayers are with the innocent Iraqi families and their children who will be victims of the war.
The prayer service is tonight at the Islamic Center. It begins around 8 o'clock.
Some soldiers from our area are on the front lines, and you can help them feel more at home by donating items for our Comfort Corps campaign. Tomorrow is the last day. We've been collecting all sorts of goodies, magazines, toiletries since last Monday. You can drop off your donations at any Raymore and Flanagan store, the Red Cross, or United Way. Again, tomorrow is the final day of our Comfort Corps campaign.
More coverage of the war is still ahead.
Many local families are worried about their loved ones overseas. Coming up, we'll introduce you to one local family who's been through this before.
Plus, straight ahead in sports, the games go on as the NCAA tournament begins. The Orangemen get ready for their first round games.
Value City Furniture, Ridge Road in Greece, and near Marketplace Mall in Henrietta. You just can't do any better.
Prices are now being slashed during York Furniture Gallery's clearance sale. Floor samples, one of a kind, discontinued and specially selected items throughout York's entire furniture inventory. Hurry in for best selection now through Sunday only. Living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, entertainment centers, home office, leather furniture, and much more, all at clearance sale prices. Special financing available during this incredible savings event. Hurry in now through Sunday only. York Furniture Gallery.
At Moran & Kufta, we take our commitment to the Rochester community very seriously, and we hope that you do too.
So along with us, we're asking for your help this month in supporting this worthy organization.
Come to the 5th Annual Taste of Livingston County, Tuesday, April 8th at the Genesee River Hotel in Mount Morris. Get a taste of the finest cuisine in Livingston County with a heart-healthy twist. Proceeds will be donated to Teresa House and Focus on the Children. Call today for your tickets.
Popeye's Cajun Seafood Celebration is back, featuring Popeye's Popcorn Shrimp Basket. Tender shrimp seasoned with Popeye's Cajun spices. Or try Popeye's Crispy Catfish Basket. Tender, flaky catfish with a mild New Orleans flavor. Both served with fries, biscuit, and dipping sauce. It's Popeye's Cajun Seafood Celebration, starting at just $3.49. Or get a 12-piece box of Popeye's world-famous chicken for only $9.99.
It's March Madness at Patrick's Used Car and Truck Center. Every Patrick used car is slashed and marked down with rock-bottom prices tagged right on the windshield. Check out 200 used cars, SUVs, and trucks. Every one comes with Patrick's Platinum Plus certificate that no other dealer offers. Get incredible used car savings at Patrick's Used Car and Truck Center next to Marketplace Mall. We're open 31 straight days, including Sundays, noon till 4.
Now, here's Mark Gruba with sports on News 10 NBC.
With the NCAA tournament underway this afternoon, the Syracuse Orangemen held their first workout in Boston today for tomorrow's first-round game against Manhattan. Rick Hager reports.
This is normally an upbeat time of the year, but with the war underway, the atmosphere is not as festive this March. The Syracuse Orangemen took the court at the Fleet Center for practice this afternoon, and the confrontation in Iraq was on the minds of everyone. SU center Craig Forth's older brother Jason is a Marine currently based in North Carolina.
I'd like to see my brother safe and see everybody come home safe, but I guess we have to do what we have to do. Luckily, right now he's fine. He's here. He's in the U.S. and he's not as much danger as they are over there.
And security has been increased to an even higher level here at the Fleet Center. But SU and Manhattan are still set to tip off at 12:15 tomorrow afternoon. In Boston, Rick Hager, News 10 NBC.
Okay, thank you, Rick. The game of the day so far in the tournament in the East Regional, NC State and Cal. This one went to overtime. Cal down 1. Watch Richard Midgley for 3. Nothing but net. NC State just over 3 seconds to answer. They're looking for Brett Davidson. He's covered. Who do they go to? Scott Sherrill for the win. 76-74. Cal hangs on and advances. Top-seeded Oklahoma moves on today as well. How about the South Regional? UConn over BYU. Stanford, San Diego just underway in the Midwest. Marquette holds off Holy Cross. Mizzou nips Southern Illinois. Out west, Gonzaga over Cincy. Number 1 Arizona moving on. The McQuaid Knights are busy preparing for the Federation Tournament. They face New York City's Lincoln High in the semifinals tomorrow in Glens Falls. We'll hear from the Knights coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. Rhett Warner's headaches turned out to be an inner ear infection. He may play Saturday at Toronto. Doug Huda was sent back to the Amerks today. Tough guy Sean McMorrow was called up. And nothing new to report on the Bills free agent front.
Very good. Thanks,
All right.
Mark.
Our war coverage continues next.
Coming up, we'll talk with a family of a local soldier who's fighting for his country in a conflict for the 3rd time.
Good afternoon. I'm Kevin Williams in the 10 NBC Weather Lab. A flood watch is in effect. There will be some typical springtime flooding ahead of us for tonight and tomorrow. I'll have those details and the weekend outlook coming up in just a few moments.
News 10 NBC is brought to you by Family First Federal Credit Union.
For over 3 decades, we've been providing financial products that fit our members' lifestyles. Our new and improved Classic Visa card does just that. With an exceptional rate as low as 8.9% APR, this is the kind of credit card you'll want to use every time you shop, dine out, or travel. What's more, there's no annual fee. So stop by either Family First branch and join our family. Then start joint banking like it was meant to be.
Tired of winter's chill? Remember last summer's scorching heat? Well, Isaac is giving you 2 good reasons to act now and stay comfortable throughout the year. Reason 1, install a Rheem 12-SEER central air conditioning system and get a free Rheem Standard 80% gas furnace. Reason 2, purchase before April 15th and Isaac will add on a 5-year parts and labor warranty absolutely free. Call Isaac at 546-1400 or log on to isaachheating.com. Isaac Heating and Air Conditioning. When you need us, we'll be there.
The Rochester Athletic Club. You are youthful. RACNU. You are healthy.
If you're thinking about a health club, you really want results. Working within your target heart rate, you'll lose weight, gain energy, and be healthy. I can help. My goal, reaching your goal.
Enroll now. Get 3 months for $99.
You can do it. RACNU.
Cortez Ford is out to be
Rochester's largest Ford dealer.
We'll do it by selling the largest selection of new Ford trucks and used vehicles
at the lowest prices in Rochester.
Choose from new 03 F-Series, Dualies, Rangers, Escapes, Explorers, or save on our huge selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. And no matter what your credit, Cortez can get you approved. Cortez Ford is out to be
Rochester's largest Ford dealer.
Conveniently located on West Henrietta Road, where every day's a deal.
You're watching News 10 NBC with the latest developments here at home and abroad. Target Iraq.
If you just got home, here are tonight's headlines.
The United States has struck Baghdad with a series of cruise missiles. The targets were Saddam Hussein's Republican Guard strongholds. Saddam's main presidential complex was on fire. U.S. officials say the massive air campaign the military is planning still has not yet happened. Officials say there won't be any doubt when the real war starts.
A local anti-war protest was just one of many throughout the country today. Hundreds marched last hour from the Liberty Pole to the Federal Building. The march is one of a series of rallies put on by the Rochester Campus Action Network. Anti-war demonstrators blocked morning traffic in Washington, San Francisco, and Philadelphia. Demonstrators chanted, "No blood for oil," outside the White House.
The FBI is issuing a worldwide alert for a Saudi national that's suspected of plotting terror attacks. Agents are looking for Adnan al-Shukrajuma, who is believed to be working with al-Qaeda. The FBI asked that police and the public help find him. Officials say he was last seen in Miami but has dropped out of sight.
The war with Iraq may be half a world away, but it hits close to home for local families with a loved one in the military. Kristen Salome spent the afternoon in Hilton with the parents of an Army helicopter pilot, and she joins us now live in the newsroom for a closer look at their story.
Shelley, Bruce and Helen Willis have been through this before. Their son has served in Operation Desert Storm and peacekeeping efforts in Bosnia, but they say it just doesn't get any easier with time. They're spending a lot of time in front of the television these days, watching all the latest developments. Their son, Captain Chris Willis, flies a medevac helicopter. That means he could be flying into Iraq to rescue wounded soldiers. Clearly a dangerous job. It's hard not to fear the worst when you see the flash of bombs and anti-aircraft missiles light up the skies over Baghdad. Helen Willis got a call from her daughter-in-law today telling her to make sure she had her passport up to date in case Chris was injured in battle.
We've got a plan for the, something like that happening. Praying it's not going to, but you sure don't want to be stuck over here. If he's in a hospital in Germany, we want to be with him.
We'll hear more from the Willises coming up tonight at 6. Find out why they say this is the scariest conflict that their son has faced yet. Reporting live in the newsroom, Kristen Salome, News 10 NBC.
Kristen, since they've dealt with this before, do they have any advice for other military families out there on how to cope at this difficult time?
Pray and keep busy. Mrs. Willis says that's about all you can do, but she also says that you can get through it. So some good advice for families out there.
All right, thanks a lot for the story. Kristen Salome reporting live from the newsroom.
Rochester's police chief met with other leaders at City Hall this morning to talk about security measures now that the U.S. is at war. Chief Robert Duffy would not talk about specific steps that are in place, but said some may be visible, others not so visible to the public. Duffy says police are in constant contact with state and federal authorities. He says the police department has not gone to emergency mobilization, but is prepared if necessary.
Folks, we're prepared to go to any level that we have to in terms of mobilization and deploying people. But in the interim, there are just a number of things that we have done already, we'll continue to do, and we have great relationships and contacts with the federal and state authorities.
Duffy also made a plea to the public and to protesters to use common sense and not do anything that will require police to pull resources away from protecting the community.
We'll continue to watch the developments in the Middle East. We're also working on more local stories connected with Operation Iraqi Freedom. Still ahead, we'll hear from News 10 NBC reporter Dean Staley. He's in the Kuwaiti desert with local soldiers. Also, we'll take you on board a U.S. Navy ship and see how women are helping defend the United States. Plus, new at 6, we'll talk with a retired U.S. Army colonel.
Now, bringing you Western New York's most advanced forecasting technology, here's meteorologist Kevin Williams in the 10 NBC Weather Lab.
And a very good afternoon to one and all. The good news, spring arrives at 8 o'clock tonight. Winter's long road just about over, but it is going to be a wet arrival to the arrival of spring. We've got rain and a fair amount of it ahead. The live 10 NBC Weather Lab Triple Doppler just showing some lighter rains and showers in the Rochester metro now, especially over the eastern suburbs, but the rainfall will increase in coverage and in intensity, and thus a flood watch has been issued by the National Weather Service for our region. We are anticipating a third to an inch of rain across our region tonight from west to east, and because creeks and streams are already running high, there could be some overspill tonight if you live in a flood-prone area. One that typically floods in the springtime, you might well indeed have to worry about a little bit of flooding overnight tonight. Not a huge deal, but you do need to know if you live in one of those low spots, your basements could end up a little damp overnight. We've got some light rain in town, 45 degrees. Humidity is up, as you might surmise, at 86%. And you can see the temperatures are heading up as well. We were in the 40s most of the day today, 30s lakeside. But warmer air is trying to move in from the west, 64 in Detroit. And if we get some breaks of sunshine, we could get into the 60s tomorrow. But if that happens, we could also see what the Detroit area is seeing, which is at least west of Detroit, some very strong thunderstorms moving through Kalamazoo and Cadillac right now. We could pick up a rumble or two of thunder later tomorrow. So the weather will be very unsettled heading on into the weekend. But again, the bulk of the rain is going to fall between now and daybreak tomorrow. So the forecast, a flood watch in effect, periods of rain, again, increasing in coverage and intensity, heaviest east of the Genesee into the Finger Lakes. You might hear a rumble of thunder. Temps ranging from the mid-30s to the mid-40s, rising overnight. Tomorrow, a couple leftover showers and with a few breaks of sun. Wouldn't rule out a late day thunderstorm, but milder. The high at least 55 to 60, with enough sun, or at least enough sunny break activity, we could do better than that, perhaps the lower mid-60s. Your 5-day forecast for the weekend, well, it could be better, but it could be worse. We'll have a couple of showers around Saturday night, maybe a flake or two as it turns cooler. Weekend daytime temps mostly in the 40s. So a flood watch tonight. Those low spots, areas near creeks and streams like the Owatka and Black will have to monitor conditions as we will do here. And then briefly warmer for tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin. The war is directly impacting Wall Street.
And investors are worried about how long the war will last. Stay tuned for more coverage of Operation Iraqi Freedom. Also, a new procedure is sparing some women from getting a hysterectomy, and it's done right here in Rochester. Medical checkup is straight ahead.
News 10 NBC is brought to you by Hazelton Nissan.
During March Madness, you can lease a Hazelton Nissan Pathfinder SE for just $299 per month. All the V6 power, all the four-wheel drive capability, all yours at this special price until March 31st. Or lease a Hazelton Nissan Sentra GXE for $195 a month with automatic, air conditioning, CD player, and more. You'll see why we say, if the Hazelton sticker's not on your car, then you probably paid too much.
Spider-Man, Mary Jane, the Green Goblin, and you right there. Family entertainment for kids of all ages.
Spider-Man's cool. You've got to see it live.
Spider-Man Live, the story you know, the characters you love.
6 performances only at the Auditorium Center, March 28th through the 30th.
Don't miss the family event of the year.
All my friends loved it.
Tickets now on sale at Ticketmaster. Call 232-1900.
Spider-Man Live.
Prices are now being slashed during York Furniture Gallery's clearance sale. Floor samples, one of a kind, discontinued and specially selected items throughout York's entire furniture inventory. Hurry in for best selection now through Sunday only. Living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, entertainment centers, home office, leather furniture, and much more, all at clearance sale prices. Special financing available during this incredible savings event. Hurry in now through Sunday only. York Furniture Gallery.
Join in a hilariously interactive murder mystery weekend you'll not soon forget at the River Edge Resort in Alexandria Bay.
Featuring 2 nights accommodations, souvenir champagne, full breakfast, a scavenger hunt on Saturday, followed by the Murder Mystery Dinner Theater, where anything is possible. Great live entertainment, too.
Call 1-800-ENJOY-US to guarantee your reservation for this ever-popular murder mystery weekend fun time package.
Only at the magnificent River Edge Resort in Alexandria Bay, New York.
Your fun and relaxation destination.
Vision Ford, your #1 Ford dealer, does it again. We're ready to break all sales records with over 400 vehicles available. Hurry in for our lowest prices of the year and save. New 2003 Focus with 0 down from $169 a month. New 2003 Explorers 4x4s or F-150 Super Cab 4x4s with 0 down from $299 a month. New 2003 Taurus or Escapes with 0 down from $249 a month. Only at Vision Ford with a $1,000 lowest price guarantee. Free lifetime oil changes included. A $750 value and service hours until midnight. Your #1 Ford dealer does it again. Vision Ford of Greece.
Value City Furniture, Ridge Road in Greece, and near Marketplace Mall in Henrietta. You just can't do any better.
Now, here's Robin DeWin with tonight's medical checkup report.
New technology is now available locally to help women with excessive bleeding. Excessive menstrual bleeding is a problem that affects 20% of all women. Now, in the past, hormone therapy or a hysterectomy was needed to stop it. But now, a new 10-minute technique is changing the lives of local women with this debilitating condition. Tonight, we show you how it works.
I became severely anemic. I couldn't go out of the house.
Joyce Montanero is in today for a routine follow-up. She came to OBGYN Dr. David Gandel after her period wouldn't stop.
I didn't want a hysterectomy unless it was necessary because of disease or something like that.
You were in the first group to have it done.
Dr. Gandel says excessive bleeding is common and can be caused by hormonal imbalances or fibroids. In Joyce's case, she had 4 children, causing the lining of her uterus to thicken, causing continuous bleeding. Dr. Gandel offered Joyce a new, less invasive option called HTA.
This is called hydrothermal ablation, water, heat, destruction of the inner lining of the uterus. The uterus itself is left intact, the hormones don't change, the ovaries are fine, but the inner part that each month builds up and then sheds to create a period is gone.
Here's a graphic of how HTA works. A scope is inserted into the uterus. Heating saline is then circulated freely through the uterus, destroying the lining. The outpatient procedure takes 10 minutes and the patient is under a local anesthetic.
A number of women have told me that this has changed their life.
Dr. Gandel says other ablation procedures aren't risk-free like HTA.
Most of the other procedures either are done blindly, where a balloon or a device is inserted into the uterus and one is assuming that it's placed correctly, which much of the time it is, but there's a chance it's not and could injure other structures.
This is a picture of the uterus through the scope before the new procedure.
You can see it's reddish color, and this is how it looked after the procedure was done. The little growths or polyps have shriveled up, it's turned white, and that destroyed all of the part that was bleeding.
In a study of 135 women between the ages of 35 and 50, 95% had a substantial reduction in their menstrual bleeding. But even more impressive, more than half had their bleeding stop altogether with this new procedure.
I felt totally perfect.
Joyce says she's thrilled with her results.
It has been a huge relief. It has been the difference between day and night.
For more information on HTA, you can log on to our website at 10nbc.com and click on web links. New guidelines for treating uterine cancer, already being practiced locally, are receiving some national attention. Uterine cancer is the most common gynecological cancer, affecting 40,000 women. Dr. Brent DeBester is with the U of R Medical Center, and he says his research may help women avoid a second surgery or more extensive radiation. Dr. DeBester says his research shows uterine cancer often spreads to lymph nodes more often than originally thought. He adds women who undergo surgery as part of their treatment should have pelvic lymph nodes removed at the same time as a precaution.
Seems like a big number. If you would have to recommend additional treatment, either radiation therapy or in some cases even women have chosen to have another operation. So if we go ahead and remove the lymph nodes in everyone at the start, we'll avoid that scenario.
And the doctor says this is a better option for patients and saves healthcare dollars as well. This research is published in the March issue of Obstetrics and Gynecology.
All right, thanks
Very
a lot,
good. Thanks,
Robin.
Rama.
We have some breaking news to tell you about. A verdict has been reached in the James Comfort trial. James Comfort has been found guilty on 13 out of 15 counts. He's charged with raping young girls and women he met online. Jurors began deliberating before noon, and some of Comfort's alleged victims did take the stand, but Comfort did not. And we'll certainly keep you updated as soon as we learn more information. Besides battling the enemy, U.S. soldiers are taking on sandstorms.
Yeah, we have a crew with local soldiers in the Kuwaiti desert. Coming up, we'll talk with Dean Staley. Plus, Delta Airlines is giving passengers a break in light of the war. Details are coming up.
March means green at Brockport Ford, and we're talking green in your pocket. We have the brand new Ford Focus with payments as low as $199 per month with no money down. And this is not a lease. We repeat, it's not a lease. Have your choice of the 2003 Ford Focus or Ford Ranger. So enjoy the drive and save thousands in discounts and rebates on select models. But these special offers end March 31st, so you can't afford to wait.
Brockport Ford is the way to go.
Hi, I'm Sue Lamano, the Rochester Athletic Club for Women. Salad lovers are talking about the Garden Sensation salads at Wendy's. Come taste the freshness today.
Looking for the best in fun and gaming? Come on over to Fort Erie. Slots, bingo, video poker, horse racing, great dining, outstanding accommodations, and first-rate duty-free shopping. It's all here in Fort Erie. Close by, great exchange rate, and no tax on winnings. Overnight packages for two, only $69.99 U.S. at the award-winning Holiday Inn Fort Erie. Free breakfast plus $45 in free offers. $15 in slots play. A $5 food voucher. $10 bingo gift certificate, and more. Call 888-269-5550 for fun and gaming.
At Rochester Remodeling, we're getting ready for spring with great early bird specials. Get 10 free windows with every siding job, or free gutters with every complete roof. Save even more with factory direct pricing, interest rates as low as 4%, and no closing costs. What are you waiting for? If you're thinking about remodeling, call us at 723-5580 for a free estimate. That's 723-5580. Rochester Remodeling. We'll make your home beautiful.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on.
It's Toyota's nationwide spring sales event, where value begins with an all-star lineup of quality Toyota cars. Right now, you can get the lowest possible finance rate on Corolla and Matrix, 0% APR, or take $500 in cashback savings, or lease for an amazing $159 a month. Two of Toyota's biggest stars, 3 ways to save, 1 place to go. Get to Toyota's nationwide spring sales event, where value begins with quality.
Get the show on.
Drive an hour, save hundreds. Skinny Atlas Furs presents its annual end-of-season fur layaway sale. Save up to 50% on all furs and enjoy 1 year free layaway. Your luxurious fur awaits you at Skinny Atlas Furs, Skinny Atlas, New York. Central New York's only discount full-service furrier. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 8. Sunday noon till 5. Sale ends April 1st. Remember, drive an hour, save hundreds. Skinny Atlas Furs, Skinny Atlas, New York.
The war is causing mixed results on Wall Street. Here's how the market closed. The Dow Jones gained 21 points. The Nasdaq advances well, up more than 5.5 points, and the S&P is up almost 2. Local stocks are at the bottom of the screen.
Delta Airlines is helping travelers who are canceling trips because of the war. The airliner will waive all fees for customers who want to change their itineraries, and that includes domestic and international flights. Other airlines, including American, Continental, United, and U.S. Airways, are offering similar plans.
We have a local crew embedded with the 101st Airborne Division in Kuwait. Rebecca LeClaire talked with News 10 NBC's Dean Staley today in the Kuwaiti desert. He's with local soldiers. Staley told Rebecca how they're coping in the desert and still trying to stay clean. Here's a portion of the interview.
What are the conditions like? What are you dealing with personally and trying to live day by day? Are you getting food, water, showers?
You know, I have to confess to you, I've not had a shower in probably 4 or 5 days. We're doing what we can to take sort of field showers, using baby wipes to sort of, to bathe without using water. And then when we get, access to water, using it very sparingly to try to stay clean out here and practice good field hygiene. That's what all the troops are doing out here. Just enough water, drinking water to brush your teeth. And to maybe take, a sponge bath every now and then, every couple of days. Fortunately, the conditions here are dry. I think that helps in terms of people, being comfortable. In terms of the living arrangements, we are inside tents, but generally speaking, there's not electricity available to everyone here in the camp. Of course, the communication centers do have AC power that are run off of generators. But for the most part, conditions aren't too bad. We get very often one hot meal at the end of the day that's trucked in from one of the other camps. The rest of the time, we're eating MREs, meals ready to eat, which is sort of standard Army fare. And the weather conditions have been fairly favorable. You know, maybe in the upper 40s, lower 50s at night, so it's not too cold, and then during the day, not too hot, maybe in the 80s. We understand it's going to get a lot hotter very soon, but for now, weather conditions, with the exception of some sandstorms that have been very destructive, things here have been fairly comfortable.
That's Dean Staley reporting from the Kuwaiti desert, and we'll hear more from Dean coming up tonight on News 10 NBC at 6.
And a reminder, there are just 2 days left, today and tomorrow, in our Comfort Corps campaign. You can drop off items for our local troops at any Raymore and Flanagan store, the Red Cross, or United Way. Once all the items are collected, we'll send care packages to our soldiers abroad. The Comfort campaign wraps up tomorrow, Friday.
We will continue to update you on the situation in the Middle East.
More coverage is straight ahead. Plus, a tourist holds on for dear life above Niagara Falls. We'll show you the unbelievable rescue next.
Hi friends, Mike Ogdenveen here at Mike Ogdenveen Ford in Batavia, the unbeatable dealer. Any 2003 Ford Ranger on our lot, memo plus $300, and we'll even bring it to you. Memo is listed on the dealer factory invoice. Memo plus $300 is all you pay for any 2003 Ranger on our lot or factory order, minus any rebates or low financing. It is lower than invoice. So folks, call us, email us, or take that short ride to Batavia. We'll see you right here.
It's finally here, Rochester's first and only store dedicated to kids' furniture and accessories. It's the grand opening sale at Simon's Beds and Bunks. Bunk beds, twin beds, loft beds, storage beds. Our entire store is kids' furniture. All kinds of desks, dressers, lamps, rugs, wall art, and more. Beds starting at $199, bunks at $499. Beds that come in over 70 colors. Blue, red, pink. We even have Castle and Princess beds with tents and slides that convert into a twin bed, a bunk bed, or a loft bed. It's the grand opening sale at Simon's Beds and Bunks.
Get the best values in America from Dodge. Take our best products, like Dodge Durango with Magnum VA Power Standard and best-in-class available towing and torque. Plus our best warranty, Dodge's fully transferable 770 powertrain limited warranty. Plus our best deals, like a $4,500 cash allowance or 0% financing for 60 months. Add it all up, it equals the best values in America. See your Dodge dealer or visit Dodge.com.
You want it? We've got it. It's March Mania at Marina Dodge. 0 down and 0% financing. It's packed now on every new Dodge at Marina Dodge. Save more than ever with 0 down and 0 interest. Or you can get a new Dodge Neon or Caravan only $149 a month. Get a brand new Dodge and your payments could be less than you're paying now. March Mania only at Marina Dodge with 0 down and 0 interest. Or get a new Dodge Neon or Caravan only $149 a month. Hurry! March Mania ends March 31st. Marina Dodge, 943 Ridge Road, Webster.
Ever made something good? Raymond really likes it.
On the next Everybody Loves Raymond. Tonight at 7:30 right here on 10 NBC.
Now that the snow has melted, it's a perfect time to spruce up your garden. The Dome Arena has all the right tools to help you out. The 12th annual Gardenscape starts today. You can see a wide range of flowers and outdoor displays. There are also a number of lectures you can attend. More than 30,000 people are expected to visit the Dome Center this weekend. The show runs through this Sunday, the 23rd, and doors open at 9 a.m.
A man is recovering from hypothermia after being rescued from on top of Niagara Falls. Take a look at this dramatic video. The man was just 5 feet from the edge. At one point he slipped, but luckily he was able to hang on until he could grab a life preserver. The hair-raising ordeal lasted about an hour and a half yesterday. The 48-year-old was taken by helicopter to a nearby hospital. Police say he was visiting Goat Island on the American side when he fell down an icy slope into the Niagara River. Well, our coverage of the war continues. Many of the soldiers overseas are women. Just ahead, life on a Navy ship from a female point of view.
News 10 NBC is brought to you by the Randall Farnsworth Auto Group, where you get more than your money's worth.
The Randall Farnsworth Auto Group really began back in 1918. Why does that matter if you're buying a car today? We've only been able to remain successful by offering buyers like you 3 things: integrity, excellence, and the promise that you'll get more than your money's worth.
Join the Randall Farnsworth tradition on Rochester Road in Canandaigua and enjoy big savings during March Madness.
all at Randall Pontiac Buick GMC and Farnsworth Chevrolet Oldsmobile Cadillac.
Paradise awaits you through the Garden Gate at Gardenscape 2003 at the Dome Center in Henrietta, March 20th through the 23rd. Dozens of spectacular gardens awaken your senses and transport you into a world of garden fantasies. Discover the latest trends in landscaping, talk with the professionals, attend daily seminars, or shop for that unique garden or craft item. You never know what you'll find when you stroll through the Garden Gate at Gardenscape 2003, produced by your local landscapers, the Genesee Finger Lakes Nursery and Landscape Association.
Courage and tenacity are qualities that drive you to succeed.
It's our pleasure to introduce you to this week's Scholar Athlete, a high school student who has excelled not just on the playing field, but in the classroom as well.
Ryan Petnella was first-team All-League and All-Greater Rochester last year. This season, he's a Ronald McDonald House All-Star and helped McQuaid win their second straight Section 5 title. He's maintained a 90 average and will attend the University of Pennsylvania in the fall. 10 NBC Scholar Athletes are brought to you by Wendy's and St. John Fisher College.
I want to tell you a story of two brand new houses. Both are exactly the same size, but this one uses 30% less energy because it's built to the Energy Star guidelines for new home construction. That means 30% less in energy costs every year you own the home. Just call this number and we'll send you a free video on how to construct to the Energy Star guidelines. Or you can simply look for a new house with the Energy Star symbol on the for sale sign. Without it, you're wasting your energy.
If you thought the Jeep display at the auto show was hot, wait till you see Patrick Jeep's March Madness. If you're even thinking about buying a Jeep, see the Jeep experts. Get Patrick's free 7 years, 70,000-mile powertrain warranty. Get the best values in America. Get into March Madness at Patrick. Only in a Jeep. Patrick Jeep, next to Marketplace Mall. We're open 31 straight days, including Sundays, noon till 4.
We sell excitement.
How's the weekend shaping up, Kevin?
Shelley and Brett, it'll be seasonably cool and breezy. We'll have clouds, occasional sun, couple of showers, afternoon temperatures mostly in the 40s. Brett and Shelley.
All right.
Thanks, Kevin.
Right now, there are 2 U.S. aircraft carriers in the Mediterranean Sea.
There are about 5,500 crew members on board the USS Roosevelt, including 800 women. Tonight, life on a Navy ship from a woman's point of view. Gene Lepley reports.
The USS Theodore Roosevelt is a big ship. Nearly 100,000 tons fully loaded. But when the full complement of 5,500 sailors and airmen come aboard, it gets cramped. The 800 females are housed separately in similar quarters as their male counterparts. Seaman Octavia Shelton calls the middle berth, in a 3-tall stack, home.
This is my rack. I have a stand-up locker. Stand-up locker, 2 drawers with my uniforms.
Is it enough room for you? Took a while to get used to it?
Yeah, it took a little while to get used to it. It's enough space for twin-size bed, and they let us decorate our mattresses with our own sheets.
Yeah.
And I keep my teddy bear, something to keep me company, remind me of home.
Yeah. So this is your space, and when you close the curtain, it's all yours?
It's all mine. The lights usually stay off because we have day and night sleepers.
Oh, you do have your own light under there, too?
Yeah, own light.
Shelton enlisted in the Navy shortly after she graduated high school in 2000. How's Navy life been?
Navy life's been good. It's been good. I met a lot of nice people. A lot of people helped me out when I needed it. First underway, it was really homesick.
Yeah.
And getting emails and letters, that made me feel a lot better.
And just a reminder, Nightly News is expanded again another full hour, 6:30 to 7:30 tonight, and you can always go to our website at 10nbc.com for the very latest information.
And coming up tonight at 6, the very latest developments on Operation Iraqi Freedom.
And we'll have another exclusive report from News 10 NBC's Dean Staley near the Iraq border with the 101st Airborne.
News 10 NBC at 6 starts in 90 seconds.
During Clover's Best Buy sale, you'll get huge savings, make no payments, and pay no interest on financing for 12 full months. Choose from over 20 sets of outdoor casual furniture, priced as low as $3.99, but no more than $9.99. Get a 5-piece Tropitone set for just $7.99, but only while supplies last. A complete pool package is only $8.88, including pool, liner, filter, and ladder. Plus installation on any size pool, only $99. Our best-selling bar is only $3.88, and bar stools start at just $19 during the Best Buy sale, only at Clover.
Discover the real taste of maple and see how it's made from the tree to the table. Maple Weekend is March 22nd and 23rd at Maple Farms across New York. To find one near you, go online to mapleweekend.com. For New York State farmers and food processors, it's not just a matter of business, it's a matter of pride. Maple syrup, the pride of New York.
Vision Ford, your #1 Ford dealer, does it again. We're ready to break all sales records with over 400 vehicles available. Hurry in for our lowest prices of the year and save. New 2003 Focus with 0 down from $169 a month. New 2003 Explorers 4x4s or F-150 Super Cab 4x4s with 0 down from $299 a month. New 2003 Taurus or Escapes with 0 down from $249 a month. Only at Vision Ford with a $1,000 lowest price guarantee. 3 lifetime oil changes included. A $750 value and service hours until midnight. Your #1 Ford dealer does it again. Vision Ford of Greece.
You're watching 10 NBC Rochester. Now with the latest developments here at home and abroad. Target Iraq. This is News 10 NBC.
Good evening, I'm Janet Lomax.
I'm Gabe Dalmas. Operation Iraqi Freedom is well underway tonight.
The first wave began before dawn yesterday, and it continued tonight. The military's target was Iraq's top leadership, but hours after the bombing, a videotape, apparently of Saddam Hussein, was shown on Iraqi television. U.S. officials are currently analyzing this tape to determine if it is indeed Saddam Hussein. An Army helicopter made a hard landing this afternoon. Fortunately, the 2 soldiers on board were rescued. They're now safe. They were on a special operations mission. The details are not being made public right now. U.S. and British troops have advanced their position into southern Iraq, and U.S. military sources say Iraq has so far fired at least 4 missiles into Kuwait. There were no casualties and no damage. At least one of the missiles was shot down by a U.S. Patriot missile.
Now, what was billed as a shock and awe bombing campaign has not yet begun, apparently. Joining us right now, retired Marine Colonel Dennis Morga, who was in Operation Desert Storm, the first war against Iraq 12 years ago. And Colonel, first of all, this looks a lot different so far than Operation Desert Storm looked.
That's right, Gabe. I think the start of this particular conflict, one of the noticeable differences that I've seen is that when we crossed into the Kuwait and Iraq territory, we were up against built-in Iraqi forces.
Mm-hmm. And you were
we
with
knew
the
where
8th
they
Tank
were.
Battalion, and it took a while for your mission to begin. Right now, you think that a lot of tank battalions are, in fact, halfway to Baghdad?
I think that there are a lot of tank units poised either ready to cross the border or already across the border. Mm-hmm. I think they're probing to locate enemy resistance and sort of feeling out the defenses.
Colonel Morga, from your experience, what are troops feeling right now at the beginning of the battle? We have to assume that many of them, if not most of them, have not yet begun to really enter combat.
I think right now, Gabe, they're probably a little keyed up, ready to perform their mission. They're probably thinking of their families, and they're trying to get all thoughts of things that are distractions out of their minds, getting ready to do their mission.
Mm-hmm. And do you think they're worried about chemical weapons? Now, I know none was confirmed to have been used during Desert Storm, even though Gulf War syndrome was believed to have been the result of that. But you think they're worried about that, particularly the armored divisions?
I think, of course, there's always concern about chemical weapons, but we've got some tremendous defensive systems. I think our armored units have filtration systems. I think they're concerned, but I don't think that there's an overwhelming fear.
All right, Colonel Dennis Morga, thank you very much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Well, 10 NBC's Dean Staley and photographer Joe Caffrey are on the front lines of this war. They're with the 101st Airborne, stationed outside Kuwait City near the Iraqi border. And tonight, another exclusive report from Dean on a very tense day in the Middle East and a very close call with an Iraqi missile.
It was sort of a normal day this morning. The troops here are getting word about the American Tomahawk missile attack on Saddam Hussein and the position that the Americans believed he was at. That information was trickling down to the 101st Airborne. But otherwise, a fairly normal day. Troops are getting ready for the offensive, going through their preparations, they're planning their rehearsals. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, about mid-morning, we had 3 Patriot missiles from the missile battery right outside of Camp Thunder here shoot off into the air. One of those Patriot missiles exploded right over camp, an enormous explosion, enormous boom. Everyone, when they heard that, put on their gas masks. No one knew whether that was an incoming Scud or other piece of artillery or whether it was outbound. We all ran out of our tents, had our Kevlar helmets, our gas masks, and our body armor on. All of the troops, along with photojournalist Joe Caffrey and myself, we jumped into the trenches as well. The soldiers had their M4 rifles locked and loaded, ready to defend themselves down in these trenches from any sort of ground attack if there were Iraqi troops coming over the berm at them. But all of us really more concerned about the possibility that since those Patriots were on their way out, that told us that there was probably a Scud missile in the air headed our direction. That turned out to be the case. We understand now that there was an Al-Masoud Scud missile, which is a type of Iraqi Scud missile that is chemical capable, targeted at Camp Thunder, the very place that we are staying. And we understand that that Scud missile was intercepted by one of the Patriot missiles and exploded 6 or 7 miles from here over the desert. There was a lot of tense moments waiting to find out, because even if that Scud missile hadn't been a direct hit here at Camp Thunder, certainly there was a concern that if it exploded nearby and it had chemical agents on it, that we would all be in big trouble. So a lot of tense moments, people in their gas masks, some people in their chemical suits. Everybody had their chemical suits nearby and ready to put on. And the day has been much like that, waiting to find out if we got the all clear, hunker down, waiting for one of these Scuds to land, while some of the technicians go out and actually test the air. They're in their chem suits and their gas masks, and they're taking samples from the atmosphere around here to see if there are any biological or chemical weapons. So far, none of that, and everyone here is feeling very fortunate that nothing came down right here at Camp Thunder. With the 101st Airborne in the Kuwaiti Desert, Dean Staley, News 10 NBC.
Dean Staley and Joe Caffrey, his photographer, have been stationed with the 101st Airborne in Kuwait for weeks. Stay tuned to News 10 NBC for their exclusive reports from the front line. And we'll continue to update you on Operation Iraqi Freedom throughout the evening. We're also following several local stories connected to the war in Iraq. Coming up, we'll talk to the family of an Army helicopter pilot. And the Islamic Center of Rochester officially speaks out on the war. Those stories and more coming up.
And joining us right now, Kevin Williams, we find that all of Western New York is under a flood watch.
Yeah, there are some concerns. Streams and creeks are high. You know, the springtime brings flooding. It's a common phenomena here, and we have a flood watch. There will be some localized flooding tonight. We will address that. We'll look at radar and have the complete weekend forecast for this, the first night of spring coming up at the 10 NBC Weather Lab.
Now, here's the latest weather from the News 10 NBC Weather Lab.
And a very good evening to one and all. We will get right to it, talk about some rainfall, talk about the possibility of some flooding. But again, in the grand scheme of things, they're really not that huge a deal. We're looking at the live 10 NBC Weather Lab Triple Doppler. We're going to be looking to the south and to the east across the Finger Lakes, where there are some heavier patches of rain beginning to develop, as evident by the darker shades of green. It is really the area east of the Genesee through the Finger Lakes that stands the best chance of getting enough rain to produce some flooding. A quick street level map right into the Rochester metro area does show some rain, but hey, it's the time of year for some rain and some snow melt and some ponding. We've got that now. Mostly light rain, as you can see, covering much of the area, although the northwest suburbs seeing the rain a little more scattered. But yeah, we do have a flood watch in effect, so let us talk about it. The flood watch covers all of western New York, and we are anticipating anywhere from 1/3 to 1 inch of rain from west to east across the area. Again, heaviest in the Finger Lakes, and again, creeks and streams are running high, and certainly the Black, the Owatка, the Tonawanda could all get enough rain to produce at least some localized flooding. We'll keep you advised on that. Flooding is certainly not a concern in the Middle East. We're looking at the weather in Iraq for tomorrow. We are still looking at a little trough over Syria that could still, at least to some extent, kick up the breezes a bit, but probably not as much as we have seen. And there's no real big signs of heat yet. Baghdad, the expected high upper 60s, upper 70s in Basra. Of course, clouds significant with respect to surveillance, and we've had a lot of cloudiness in northern Iraq. The clouds seem to be breaking up a bit now, but again, that'll be a story that will be a big factor too over time, and we'll continue to watch that as well. These are the numbers in our almanac today. 47 the high, 38 our low temperature. The record number is 79 and -1, and the sun up tomorrow is at 6:13. In town now, cloudy, a little spotty rain. It's beginning to pick up in coverage and in intensity. 45 degrees at the airport, and that's about normal for a day and early in mid-March in the late afternoon. Humidity high, as you might have surmised, 86%, and the breeze is coming in rather lightly. Around the Weather Watcher Network, temperatures relatively uniform under the cloud canopy, mostly in the low to mid-40s now, but we do have some warmer air that'll try and work our way. Notice 62 in Detroit with a bit of sun. If we get a bit of sun tomorrow, we could make the low to mid-60s, but if we do, that sun will destabilize the atmosphere and could produce a couple of thunderstorms, as they are now seeing in portions of central and southern Michigan. So the forecast for tonight, the flood watch remains in effect. Again, periodic rain becoming a little more widespread. The heaviest rain will fall across the Finger Lakes, where there could be an inch or more in spots. Don't be surprised if you hear rumble of thunder. Temperatures mostly mid-30s to mid-40s, might actually rise a bit during the overnight. Tomorrow, the bulk of the rain is done. In fact, it's done before daybreak. Clouds could occasionally part for a little bit of sunshine. Be a couple of pop-up showers, and later in the day, again, another chance of a thunderstorm, but it will be noticeably milder, at least 55 to 60, and with enough sunshine, we could break into the low and mid-60s in the afternoon. 5-day forecast heading into the weekend. Well, certainly not as beautiful as last weekend, but it's not a complete write-off either. There'll be a couple of showers around, especially Saturday afternoon and Saturday night, when there might even be a flurry. But temperatures still not too shabby, really. Upper 40s on Saturday, mid and upper 40s on Sunday for highs, and then another warm-up getting into the 60s by the earlier middle portion of next week. We always get some flooding in the springtime. A flood watch means there's just the potential of localized flooding, and I'm particularly going to be watching the streams and creeks that are running high. So if you live near one that tends to flood in the springtime, it's certainly something to monitor, as we will do as well.
There's always something.
Always something, that's right.
Kevin, thanks.
And the troops in the Persian Gulf region, their mission is clear. But what about their families?
Well, we'll hear what it's like for a local family of a soldier on the front line in Iraq. 10 NBC's coverage of Operation Iraqi Freedom continues.
News 10 NBC is brought to you by your Rochester area Pontiac dealers.
He likes to dribble drive using a high post pick. There's the pass. Puts it up. Yes! Oh! Holy mackerel, what a game!
Equipped with Performance Shift Automatic and Power Interior Package, GM owners and lessees can lease a new 2003 Grand Am SC Special Edition for around $199 a month. Call for details.
Is this Mark Madness or what? It's bad.
Visit your Rochester area Pontiac dealer today.
I want to tell you a story of two brand new houses. Both are exactly the same size, but this one uses 30% less energy because it's built to the Energy Star guidelines for new home construction. That means 30% less in energy costs every year you own the home. Just call this number and we'll send you a free video on how to construct to the Energy Star guidelines. Or you can simply look for a new house with the Energy Star symbol on the for sale sign. Without it, you're wasting your energy.
The Hyundai Santa Fe, a comparison. More standard features than a Ford Escape XLS, all for over $1,400 less when comparably equipped. And only the Santa Fe is protected by America's best warranty. 10 years, 100,000 miles. Looks like we have a winner. Test drive the Hyundai Santa Fe nicely equipped for just $17,569 at your Hyundai dealer. It's the Santa Fe Triple Play. $1,000 cash back or a $199 a month lease or 0% APR for up to 60 months.
Thank you, AirTran Airways, for bringing your quality airlines to the Greater Rochester International Airport, where business and leisure travelers get more low-fare choices.
You're watching News 10 NBC with the latest developments here at home and abroad. Target Iraq.
These are certainly tense times for local families who have loved ones serving in the military. Kristen Salome was with the parents of an Army helicopter pilot when today's bombing campaign began. Kristen joins us live with their story. Kristen?
Janet, the Bruce and Helen Willis of Hilton are going through what so many military families are right now. They're glued to their television sets, watching, waiting, hoping, praying their son Chris comes home safe and soon.
Come on, guys. Come on, outside. Come on, out, 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 out.
The Willis family and their 6 Cocker Spaniels follow the daily routine. But life is anything but routine when your son is fighting a war.
You stay very busy and do what mothers have done for all the wars and all the history. Stay very busy and pray.
Captain Chris Willis flies a medevac helicopter for the Army's 101st Airborne. Last they knew, he was in Kuwait.
When there are casualties that have to be airlifted out, whether it's aircraft or ground troops, they respond to the scene.
General Monty Miggs now, who's over at the telestrator.
For the Willises, the television is a constant companion. Their son also served in the First Gulf War and peacekeeping missions in Bosnia. But this conflict is different.
Does it get any easier?
Not really easier. And this one's a little bit more, you know, with the chemicals and the biological.
That's what I mainly worry about, exposure to chemical and biological agents.
They rely on emails from Chris and updates from his wife to keep their spirits up.
The biggest thing is we need to support our daughter-in-law and the grandchildren right now, and because Chris knows we're doing that.
When it comes to war, they too are veterans.
I truly hope that this will be as short can be.
We all hope this war will be short, but even if it is, it won't be the last dangerous assignment for Captain Chris Willis. He's scheduled to go to South Korea later this summer. Reporting live in the newsroom, Kristen Salome, News 10 NBC.
You can help local soldiers on the front lines by making them feel more at home. Tomorrow is the last day of our Comfort Corps campaign. We've been collecting personal items since last Monday. Drop off your donations at any Raymore and Flanagan store, the Red Cross or United Way. Our coverage of Operation Iraqi Freedom continues.
Coming up here, what the Islamic Center of Rochester has to say about the start of the war in Iraq.
News 10 NBC is brought to you by York Furniture Gallery.
Prices are now being slashed during York Furniture Gallery's clearance sale. Floor samples, one of a kind, discontinued and specially selected items throughout York's entire furniture inventory. Hurry in for best selection now through Sunday only. Living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, entertainment centers, home office, leather furniture, and much more, all at clearance sale prices. Special financing available during this incredible savings event. Hurry in now through Sunday only. York Furniture Gallery.
You can hear News 10 NBC on the radio every day on WYSL 1040. These broadcasts are made possible by the Randall Farnsworth Auto Group.
Rich and powerful insurance companies often attempt to severely limit the rights of accident victims.
When they are successful, the cost of the victim's disability and rehabilitation falls upon all of us, the taxpayers.
If you are ever injured, your choice of law firms is critical. By successfully fighting for our clients against insurance companies, Solino & Barnes has become one of America's largest personal injury firms.
Call us. We'd be honored to fight for you.
Governor Pataki's budget is full of wrong choices and broken promises. We should all pull together, but the governor's budget pulls us apart. Job-killing proposals slash essential services hit local governments hard, hammering local schools and colleges, dumping giant expenses onto local governments and schools, forcing big property tax hikes. Call the governor and your state legislators. Tell them there are better choices for New York.
In nature, speed and timing are crucial, and now you need both to get a great deal on a Jeep vehicle, since the Best Values in America event won't be around for long. So act fast if you want great products, a great warranty, and great deals, like a generous cash allowance or a $339 a month lease on the 2003 Jeep Grand Cherokee for qualified lessees. So get to your Jeep dealer today, because timing is everything. Great products, a great warranty, and great deals all add up to the Best Values in America. Check one out today.
Value City Furniture, Ridge Road in Greece, and near Marketplace Mall in Henrietta. You just can't do any better.
As can be expected, the war brought out the usual number of protesters, but among them today was a group at RIT handing out American flags and talking about the need for solidarity at this time. These students say the removal of Saddam Hussein and his weapons is crucial, and our soldiers deserve all the support they can get from back home. The opposite view by this group of people who gathered at the Liberty Pole late this afternoon. They marched to the Federal Building. This was organized by local students and members of the Green Party and Metro Justice. There were also protests during the morning rush hour, with people showing signs on the overpasses of 490 declaring their opposition to the war.
Well, today, members of the Islamic Center of Rochester officially spoke out against the war. They held a press conference this afternoon to say they're praying to God to end the war quickly. The men here say they're torn because they have a kinship for people on both sides of the war.
We are Americans and we are Muslims, and we cannot imagine seeing both of our communities potentially facing devastation by the same hand. It's something that we are hoping will be brought to a halt immediately.
And tonight, the Islamic Center of Rochester tonight will hold, or will have a special call to pray for U.S. soldiers and citizens of Iraq.
A jury has reached a verdict in the trial of James Comfort. He's the Greece man accused of raping girls and women he met online. Comfort was found not guilty of the most serious charge, first-degree rape, but he was found guilty of second- and third-degree rape, along with endangering the welfare of a child and sexual abuse. Comfort is also accused of raping a 15-year-old girl in Syracuse. He'll be tried on that charge later on in Syracuse.
Well, coming up in sports, the NCAA tournament is underway. Mark Gruba has early highlights.
And Rick Hager reports from Boston, where the Orangemen face Manhattan tomorrow. That's next.
If you're ready to make a change, discover the value, selection, and comfort of futon furniture at Futons and More. Comfort to match your lifestyle.
Computer Renaissance, where computers suddenly make sense.
At ESL, people have lots of ways of telling us they're happy here. But it's the years our members have given us that say it all. At ESL, it's banking, only better.
The Lexus ES, now with special lease and financing rates available. At Dorsho Lexus.
It's Ruby Gordon Furniture's factory authorized sale. Check your mailbox for our 16-page circular filled with savings in every department. Ruby Gordon Furniture, the making of a beautiful home.
Now, here's Mark Gruba with sports on News 10 NBC.
The Syracuse Orangemen face Manhattan tomorrow in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Rick Hager was at today's workout in Boston.
Security is extremely tight in and around the arena as Boston gets set to host the first round of the NCAA tournament. The Orangemen practiced at the Fleet Center this afternoon. The NCAA had considered postponing these games because of the war, but then decided to stay on schedule.
We cannot live our lives like somebody's going to do something to our airplane, or somebody's going to be in the hotel, or somebody's going to be here in this building. We can't live that way.
Our thoughts and prayers are with all of our soldiers over there. So it's a tough time for them, but at the same time I think they'd appreciate the sports right now.
As for basketball, this young SU team is a heavy favorite against the 14th seeded Manhattan Jaspers.
Thank you very much, sir. You're going to be a great player. We know what they're about, and we know that they're a hard-nosed team, that every time they step on the court, they're going to leave what they got out there on the court. So we just got to lock and load, man.
Syracuse defeated Manhattan by 20 points in the NIT last year. Tomorrow they'll meet in the first round of the NCAA tournament. In Boston, Rick Hager, News 10 NBC.
Okay, thank you, Rick. The game of the day so far today in the NCAA tournament in the East Regional, NC State and Cal, they went to overtime. Cal down 1 to Richard Midgley for 3 and the lead. NC State just over 3 seconds to answer, but they don't get it done. Cal wins 76-74. In the South region, UConn got 20 points, 7 blocks from Emeka Okafor, and a 5-point win over BYU. The Huskies 11-0 in first-round games under Calhoun. Let's take a look at all today's scores. In the East, Cal and #1 Oklahoma advance. In the South, UConn gets the winner of San Diego and Stanford. In the Midwest, Marquette and Mizzou survive scares today, and Gonzaga will advance to face #1 seeded Arizona out west. It is Final Four weekend for the U of R women as well. They left for Terre Haute, Indiana today after a week of workouts at the Palestra. The Yellow Jackets face Trinity of Texas tomorrow night in the semifinals. A preview of that tonight at 11. It's also, of course, a big weekend for the state champion McQuaid Knights. The #2 ranked team in the country will face Lincoln High out of New York City in the Federation Tournament tomorrow in Glens Falls. And it has been a fun week of preparation for the Knights. Take a listen.
We're just going to go out and have fun this weekend and do something that we haven't done, this whole season, and that's have fun in practice and finally have fun just, going out and playing and having all the pressure off of us.
The primary goal is definitely just to win states. Anything after this is just a bonus. We're definitely out to win it, though, and finish undefeated.
They want to keep that perfect record going. The Knights play tomorrow at 6:45 in Glens Falls. The Buffalo Bills have cut 2 veterans. Fullback Larry Centers is gone. Also, linebacker Eddie Robinson is gone. That will clear more cap space for Sam Adams, who remains unsigned. Rhett Warner's headaches turned out to be an inner ear infection. He may play Saturday for the Sabres at Toronto. Doug Huda was sent back to the Emirates today. Tough guy Sean McMorrow was called up. And Tiger Woods is going for his 4th straight Bay Hill Championship this week in a patriotic mood. No one has won 4 straight in the same event since the 20s. Tiger is 2 under par, 1 shot off the lead. And that is sports.
All right, thank you very much.
Mark, thanks. Wall Street continues to move ahead as you look at the numbers for the Dow, NASDAQ, and the S&P 500. BNL was up. Constellation Corning Delphi all declined a bit today. Eastman Chemical was off, but EDS Gannett Harris on the plus side. ITT fell. No change for Kodak. Paychex was up. Pactiv went down 7 cents. EAS fell, but Tops and Xerox both advanced.
Resistance is futile. Cadillac CTS. Breakthrough.
New York residents, visit your Cadillac dealer of Western New York for this attractive offer.
Hometown pride, working for you. Hometown pride and Netzman's Appliance.
It's time for you to save and save big with Netzman's huge customer appreciation sale. Great savings on quality products from Maytag will prove just how much we appreciate your business. So hurry to the customer appreciation sale going on now at Netzman's.
Hometown pride, working for you. Hometown pride and Netzman's Appliance.
When you step into a City Mattress, you'll find the best selection of mattresses anywhere. And there's never been a better time to take that big step. Once a year, we offer our lowest prices of the year on everything. All the top brand names are on sale. Over 80 comforts in all, and the prices have never been lower. Isn't it time you shopped City Mattress?
The sweetest dreams happen on a City Mattress.
It's the Cajun celebration at McDonald's, and you can start your own little party with the delicious Cajun Filet-O-Fish sandwich topped with the spicy Cajun sauce. Or get our classic Filet-O-Fish. Either way, they're just $1 each on Fridays. $1! The Cajun celebration at McDonald's. It'll be music to your mouth.
If you see news happen, call the News 10 NBC hotline at 232-1010 or star 10 on your Verizon Wireless phone. Join in, a service brought to you by Verizon Wireless.
And our Friendly's Weather Kids forecaster for tomorrow is Sean from Webster. And it still has the wet weather gear handy as there'll still be some leftover showers, but there may be a few breaks of sun, and it will be a milder day tomorrow. Temperatures could, with enough sunny breaks, break 60. But again, a flood watch remains in effect for tonight. Watch the streams and creeks. I suspect there'll be at least some localized flooding during the overnight and morning hours.
Kevin, thanks.
All right, Kev.
It's time now to salute another Do the Right Thing award winner. We want you to meet Maxwell Klotz, a 4th grader at St. Agnes School. Maxwell helped organize a clothing drive for Rochester's homeless this past winter, and he did a really good job. 230 coats were collected, along with dozens of boots, gloves, and scarves. So we say congratulations, Maxwell, for doing the right thing.
That's great.
Very nice. That's the latest from News 10 NBC.
Stay tuned now for the very latest on the war in Iraq. 1-hour special edition of the Nightly News with Tom Brokaw is next, and then 10 NBC will bring you a special broadcast tonight at 7:30.
Good night.
Good night.